Hello, hello, brothers and sisters. It's a new week, and we're very, very happy to introduce you to our show titled Speak of Africa. We thank you very much for the last show. We saw that many of you liked the show and you were sharing it with your friends. We say thank you very much for sharing the show with a lot of your friends and family members. That's the only way we can really increase our numbers. Continue sharing, subscribe and share. Share and share. We're getting good numbers, so the revolution is really working. For the show of today, we notice that some of you have sent us references to a book by Dr. Claude Anderson. Yes, I've read those books before. In fact, one of the books is Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. Claude Anderson is actually an African American. He wrote this book titled Powernomics, a national plan to empower African Americans. The message is really similar to what we've been saying on this show. Our goal is to empower Africans. And when we look at Dr. Anderson's plan, it's really similar to the message we've been telling you. So when some of you send this book to us, we decided to share this information with you today. Powernomics. So we're going to title our show today Africanomics, because we want to empower Africans. We want Africans to control their communities. That's the basic message of Powernomics. So Africanomics means Africans need to control their continent, their motherland. This can only happen if we start with economic power. We create our own businesses, we buy in our own community, then after that, we use this wealth that we've built to control the politicians. After we control the politicians, then we control the society. So those are the three steps enlisted in Powernomics, which we're also going to share, and we'll call it Africanomics. But there's a lot of news. That's the theme we want to use to frame the news stories of today. Africanomics. Africa needs to be independent, economically, politically, and socially. So we take one step at a time. First, we build our economy. Next, we build our politics by lobbying and controlling the politicians. Then third, we control our society. So that's the message. We thank you very much for watching this video, and we're now ready for the news segment. The news begins, as usual, with Ambazonia. What is happening in Ambazonia? A whole lot is happening. La République continues its killing spree. Today we got news, they ambush and kill a lot of guys in the north, especially the northwest region of Ambazonia. That's not good. When they do this, they share it in the social media. They are happy, they are killing people. But this is not good, because once they do this, then the Ambazonians also want to retaliate. And that's what really creates the unending killing spree that is going on in this part of the world. From what we see, it looks like the Ambazonians need to really stop bickering. Those who say, oh, we are for federation, we are for independence, total independence. So you guys need to come to an agreement. Then there need to be a referendum. This referendum should not really be organized by La République du Cameroun. It should be organized by neutral parties in the international community. So that way the results will be free and fair. That's what we think can happen in Ambazonia. So we think that's what you need to know. Then we move now to La République du Cameroun. We begin our news on La République du Cameroun by telling you that there's some bad news. So usually you are not happy when bad things happen to people. There is a natural disaster that has taken place in Quartier Damas in Yaoundé. Officially, they are saying that over 15 people have lost their life. What really happened is there is a soccer pitch. Then the soccer pitch is at the base. Then there's an embankment where there is land that has been filled. this land collapsed with over people who were attending a funeral of relatives. So it's really sad. We understand the governor of the central province was present, and the people were really trying to bury their deads. They were taken to the mortuary in the Hôpital Central, the central hospital. So this is really sad news, and we think it's not a good thing to jubilate when people die. It's not decent. So it's always good to sympathize with people who have lost their lives, innocent people who have lost their lives. So it's not a good thing to jubilate. We saw some people trying to jubilate, and this is not a good sign. We don't like to jubilate when innocent people lose their lives. These people are not part of the Biya government. These are just ordinary citizens. They did not send Mr. Biya to go to Ambazonia and kill Ambazonians. They were just living in their homes. They were trying to celebrate the deaths of their own people when death knocked on their door. So this can happen to any of us. So we have to be decent human beings. Next, we know that much of what is happening in La République, they've been cursed already over the soccer. The soccer games in Qatar, the World Cup, is the big news in La République du Cameroun. It suppresses all other news that is taking place in La République du Cameroun. Everybody is talking about soccer, soccer, soccer. But La République du Cameroun is really having a whole lot of bad luck. It looks like they've been cursed. Can you believe that? Some of the players that were ignored by this country, just to show you that they are not doing this only to Anglophones. So sometimes when we explain the politics in La République du Cameroun, some of you don't get it. They're doing this to Anglophones, yes, but they're also doing this to their own people. So this is a very terrible government. You look at the two young guys who were the stars of the World Cup. First, you have Kylian Mbappé. He's been playing in France, and he's a star player. He runs like hell. Okay? This is a guy who wanted to make a future in soccer. But in Cameroon, nobody will give him a chance. So his father was asked to pay bribes. He didn't have the money to pay bribes. Finally, he took his son to France, and the son started a career in France. Today, he has emerged as one of the best players in the world, and he's really showing his mettle. Without Kylian Mbappé, France would not have done much. But France is advancing in its own category in the World Cup because of the prowess of Kylian Mbappé. So how can Cameroon be so stupid? They've lost Kylian Mbappé, okay? So Kylian Mbappé is not the only loss Cameroon has experienced. The second loss is Bril Embolo. He is also a young guy who could not make a future in Cameroon. His father had to leave and settle in Switzerland. So when Cameroon loses in this World Cup, when Cameroon is sent home, it's because Bril Embolo scores the only goal that eliminates Cameroon in this match. I know another match is coming with Serbia, but already it's putting Cameroon at a disadvantage. So when you look at the people giving Cameroon a bad name, it's a business. FIFA is a franchise. It's a system of private enterprise that believes in the use of the factors of production to create an unlimited amount of profit. So if Cameroon wants to participate in this game and do very well, Cameroon needs to plan. But when you see that, Cameroon doesn't make any serious plans. They wait until it's time for the matches, then they start struggling to look for players. But already these players have committed themselves to their teams. So Cameroon cannot get them. So the best thing Cameroon can do is to start planning with the resources that they have. They start taking soccer seriously. Soccer is a business. Make it your business. Don't wait until the last minute when these players are playing with their international teams in Europe, teams that are really paying them. Because when I look at somebody like Bril Embolo, he would have liked to stay and play for Cameroon. Even when he scored this goal, he had misgivings about the scoring of the goal. He knew Cameroon is his homeland. He fell for his homeland, but I'm sure he was kind of caught in between. he has to play for Switzerland. And now Switzerland has won. We can even show you a video of Cameroonians vandalizing the home of Bril Embolo in Cameroon. Take a look at it. So why are they attacking him? He did not do anything wrong. Instead, you should attack the country that has very bad policies. They are not doing the right thing. Okay? So it's the Cameroon government that is stupid. They are not doing the right thing. Let them learn how to handle their players. Their players should be handled the way players are handled in Europe and Brazil. Okay? When you do this, you have better players. So your players do not have to be leaving Africa to go to foreign shores to look for work. You can train these players right at home, put money in soccer, and you get better results. Soccer should not just be an afterthought, a place where the president gets his glory. Okay? So the Cameroon government needs to learn, because the Cameroon government is stupid. Thank you. Next, we'll move to Burkina Faso.
Do you need tax preparation services? We can help. Contact PJ Tax Service, America's only full-time income tax preparers. Like the good old doctor, we do not close our doors after April 15th. In fact, we stay open all year round in order to serve you. We are located at 11207A, Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland, 20901. Make an appointment today with Prince Ojong, your tax expert. Call 240-350-1131 or visit us on the web at www.pjtaxservice.com.
Burkina Faso has been experiencing a lot of jihadist activity. When Ibrahim Traoré came as the maker of the second coup d'etat, after he ousted Paul-Henri Damiba, he was saying he wants to roll back the jihadist activity in Burkina Faso. What did we tell you? We're not really convinced that he has what it takes, because the killing continues. What is Ibrahim Traoré doing? Not much. So it's not just talk. We told you that it's a tall task for this young guy. He needs to come up with a master plan to roll back jihadist activity. The main cause of jihadist activity in Burkina Faso is bad governance, instability. So the only way you can resolve this issue is not by bringing another military junta into power. You need to go to the root causes of the problem. Good governance. People need to have jobs. The economy needs to be stable. Politicians need to be honest. Then the society needs to be free. So don't isolate people. Don't exclude people. The politics of exclusion would create more jihadist activity. So we've said it many times on this show. If you want to reduce or roll back jihadist activity in Burkina Faso, introduce good governance. Rush to return the country to democracy. Then politicians should try to sue for peace, and they should share the cake. Okay? Next, we take you to Congo DRC. Congo DRC has scheduled elections for 2023, December 20th. So Felix Tshisekedi is the president and he wants to run again. According to the constitution of Congo DRC, he's entitled to run for re-election. And the former winner of the election in 2018, Martin Fayulu, is also running. So soon we'll be able to know other candidates who will be running too. But we know, as we told you before, is Felix Tshisekedi doing a good job? I would reserve my comments and say I think he's not. Because the issue in the East, the rebels are still fighting. The government of Felix Tshisekedi is accusing the rebels, M23 movement. He's accusing Rwanda. By the same token, Rwanda too is accusing the Hutu rebels who are using Congo DRC as a staging ground. Kenya and other regional forces in the East African section have tried to bring peace with the M23 and the government of Felix Tshisekedi. Is this peace going to hold? It remains to be seen. But we know the next election needs to be free and fair. We think they should not play games. Martin Fayulu won the last election. If he won the election, let him run the country. Don't choose somebody who will fake the election. And that's what is going on now. Next, Equatorial Guinea. Last week, we told you that the people were going to the polls to re-elect the oldest president in the world, Theodore Obiangema. Every time he wins elections. So he doesn't need, why are they even voting? So they're just voting to deceive the people. So this dude is making another mockery of democracy. And when people start having problems in Equatorial Guinea, you complain that there's jihadist activity. No, when the people have it up to here, then they take up arms. They take the law into their own hands. That's what is happening in other parts of Africa. And we're telling you, the poverty in Equatorial Guinea is really high. The people have nothing. The president monopolizes power, steals all the money. The country discovered oil. America, a country that believes in democracy, is supporting. Immediately after the people started complaining about dictatorship in Equatorial Guinea, when the Americans found out that Equatorial Guinea has discovered oil, Exxon told the US government to close its eyes and not look at the record of dictatorship in Equatorial Guinea. And that's why we are here. So we ask ourselves, America is the beacon of democracy. But in Africa, is America supporting democracy? No. So we move now to Ghana. Ghana is also at the World Cup, and President Nana Akufo-Addo was there to cheer his team. And I think this was a good sign. The people were really happy to have their president with them. And this was good. There were about 4 other presidents at the World Cup. We also have Macky Sall of Senegal. He was there too. Then you also had Paul Kagame of Rwanda. He was also there. So it was a really good place for African presidents to show up to share their teams. So we like that. But next, we take you to Ivory Coast. Charles Blé Goudé, the street general. This guy was at the ICC. So in 2019, he was freed. He was the right-hand man of Gbagbo, Laurent Gbagbo. So 2 of them were at the Hague in prison. But they were freed. This guy was really in charge of what they call the Escadron de la Mort, the death squads. So a lot of people died during those times, but the guy has finally made it to his country. So we hope this will really make for some kind of peace in Ivory Coast. Next, we move to Niger. Niger also is a place where you have the French are really trying to come back and show their presence. It looks like Emmanuel Macron is using diplomats as a way to fight anti-French feeling. In a lot of these countries, there is a lot of jihadist activity in a lot of the former French colonies. Russia is making inroads because the people are thinking that if France is a bad colonial power, maybe they may have a better deal with Russia. So when somebody is desperate, you don't even blame them. As much as we know, Russia is not even a good replacement. But right now, the people are desperate. So anybody who gives them a hand, they will take it, so long as the person is not France. Then we see in Niger also, the president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, was there to inaugurate a street that was named after him. As you know, Buhari and Niger, because he has been helping the people of Niger, he's been generous. Even though Nigerians have a lot of economic issues, but Buhari has still been showing a form of largesse with Niger. So they named a street after him, and I think there was a big deal. Then African leaders were also meeting in Niger for a summit on industrialization and trade. We hope this was a serious summit because we really need trade. Africans need to start trading with Africans. Africans need to create opportunities, economic opportunities for their people. Because that's the kind of stuff that when you read Dr. Claude Anderson's book, Powernomics, the book talks about. We need to create businesses for our people and we need to support our own businesses. So when you talk about industrialization, we have to begin first with agriculture. If you cannot just jump the stages. It's like you start classes in class 1, class 2, class 3. You don't begin with class 3 when you've not started taking classes in class 1. So in Africa, they tend to jump the gun a lot of times. They don't follow the steps that should be followed. Okay? Next, we'll move to Nigeria. In Nigeria, there's a whole lot of campaigning going on. Okay? A lot of campaigns going on, and we really like the fervor, the ambiance. There's a lot of campaigning going on. The main aspirants for the presidency, the APC candidate, Bola Tinubu, is making waves. You can see a whole lot of videos and images that we'll share with you of Bola Tinubu. He's campaigning big. Then Peter Obi. Peter Obi too. You can see a lot of images of Peter Obi campaigning seriously. Not to be left behind, there's also Atiku Abubakar. He's also campaigning heavily. So those are the three names that you see all over. They are really taking they are sucking all the oxygen in the Nigerian political space. Okay, these three guys. Already, when we see their campaigns are more like forms of entertainment. These campaigns don't really discuss substantive issues. So it's more like merriment. You will not even believe that this is a country where there is a lot of instability, insecurity. Today, as we are coming to the studio to tape this show, we got news that gunmen dressed as police officers killed policemen and they abducted an oil executive in Rivers State. Can you believe? But when you look at the merriment, the way the people are campaigning, you will not even believe Nigeria has any problem. You will not even hear the candidates focus a lot on insecurity. We've understood that Bola Tinubu, for one, does not even want to engage in debates because the guy looks as if he's really senile. It's old, but he doesn't want to leave. He just wants to say, oh, it's my turn, I have to be president, even though I cannot do work as president. To be president requires a lot of energy. Nigeria needs young people. Why is this dude refusing to go to a nursing home? He cannot even pronounce words well. He cannot articulate well, but he wants to be president. So when we look at things, is he even going to be better than Muhammadu Buhari? We don't think so. We think it's going to be worse. The youth should be thinking about voting for somebody like Peter Obi. He has the energy, he has the experience. Even if you organize a debate, Peter Obi will beat all those candidates in a debate because we've watched Peter Obi debate a lot of politicians. He's a very good debater. And he has a good program to deal with poverty. Nigeria has a lot of issues. The young people need jobs. Instead of abusing them, create opportunities for young Nigerians to have jobs so that they can feed their families. Because from Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we start first by feeding our people. That's what we need. So we need Nigerian government to look at this. Insecurity is rife. Let the politicians discuss the issues. When you watch Nigerian politicians campaigning, they don't discuss the serious issues. Then you ask yourself, why are they running for president? So it's just merriment. A white guy will sit and watch this and he will say Africans are stupid. They are not dealing with their problems. Okay? Next, we'll take you to Sao Tome and Principe. A coup d'etat just took place. It was an aborted coup d'etat. And this is a country that people are looking at as a model democracy. It's a little island in Africa, Sao Tome. Not big, but they had a coup d'etat just a few hours ago. It was aborted, and Patrice Trovoada is their PM. A few people died because of this coup d'etat. Why are there coup d'etats? Even though the people had elections not too long ago, it just tells you that a lot of people are still not happy. So elections sometimes are not really a good mechanism if the elections were not free and fair. So we need the elections to be free and fair. Finally, we take you to South Africa. It looks like Cyril Ramaphosa may really have a tough time winning re-election because we remember the Fala scandal when they found a lot of money that was stolen in his farm, and he's been making excuses. So the people have not really forgiven him, and the people are not really happy with the ANC. So it looks like he may not really do well. Is he going to win re-election? It's going to be a tough struggle. So we've come to the end of our show, but before we go, we want to remind you that we want you to read the book Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. This book looks at the way we can have an international plan to rescue, to empower Africans, okay, so that they can rise, to empower Africans economically, politically, and socially. On the economic level, we want to have our own businesses, create businesses. So you as an individual, the challenge is for you to create a business. We are helping a lot of individuals now to learn tax preparation so that they can form small businesses, do taxes for themselves, help their friends, prepare their taxes also. If you're interested, call my number, 240-350-1131, and we'll offer the training to you. A lot of people are signing up for the training. Every week, we get more people signing up. Then, you want the money to circulate in your community. So, patronize African businesses in America and in other places in the world. Once you patronize these African businesses, the African entrepreneurs will take this money and buy politicians. They will be able to lobby. We need an African organization that represents African interests. When you see that Israel can say just one word and the American government will be shivering. Nobody cares about Africans because Africans are not represented. We don't have an African organization. So after we have our rich people, they need to start lobbying for Africa. Then finally now, we need to control the justice system, the police. When you complain about black crime or the system is against black people, it's because black people don't control it. So we need to control the system. And I think we've come to the end of our video, and we'll say thank you very much. Share, share, and share. Bye-bye.
Medical practice software is too old. Indeed, all the programs are built on MUMPS, technology of the 1950s, and the programs cost too much money. Epic and Cerner cost billions of dollars. Meditech costs thousands of dollars too. In fact, that's why we created AlexiaHTC.com, a new and free EMR/EHR for doctors. AlexiaHTC.com is built for HIPAA. Yes, magical one-screen technology, ease of use, quick charting, amazing e-prescribing, tight labs integration, multi-office difference, because we believe doctors and patients need a break today. Be the first to test drive AlexiaHTC.com. You have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain. Act now. Call 240-350-1131. Alexia Care Corporation at AlexiaHTC.com.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.